You're not born to be a power puncher. You're born a baby. Your ability to punch harder is based on two things, either coaching or culture. You see, most people think that you're born with natural knockout power or that it comes from just having heavy hands or bigger muscles, but that's only a small piece of the puzzle. If you really want to hit hard, and I mean like in the fight hard, then you've got to understand the source of your power and you've got to stay connected to it. The important thing to know is it doesn't start at your fist. It starts at your feet. And real knockout power is generated from the ground up. Your fist might deliver the punch, but your legs, hips, and core are the ones that create it. So if you don't understand this, you're always going to be leaving power on the table, no matter how hard you try or how hard that you're training. In this quick video, I'm going to break down how knockout power actually works and how you can train it using smart mechanics and a few specific drills, even if you don't have a heavy bag or a sparring partner. I'm Alan Branch. Let's glove up. So first, let's talk about something called ground reaction force, or GRF. This is the force your body produces when you drive into the ground and the ground pushes back. It's basic physics, Newton's third law. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So when you plant your foot and rotate through a punch, you're actually using the ground to send energy up through your body. Here's the key that most people miss. If you're not connected to the ground, if your feet aren't stable, if your hips aren't engaged, you're not generating force, you're just throwing your arms around. So here's something that you may not know. You can absolutely increase your punching power by improving your squat. It's biomechanics. So stronger legs mean more GRF. More GRF means more energy traveling through the body. And that energy, when it's timed correctly, shows up in your hands. So the next time somebody tells you that leg day doesn't matter for fighters, you know better. Now, let's move up the chain literally. Once that ground force is produced, it has to travel through the body from the feet, through the legs, the hips, the core, the shoulders, into the arm, and into the fist. We call this the kinetic chain. If any link in that chain is weak, if it's misaligned or mistimed, you leak power. So imagine trying to crack a whip with a broken handle. That's what it's like to throw a punch without proper mechanics. So if you're someone who feels like your punches look fast, but they don't land with any real impact, or if you've ever thought, man, when I'm popping, when I hit the mitts, but it's just not dropping or hurting anybody in sparring, it's probably not your hand speed. It's your mechanics. That's good news because mechanics can be trained. Next is rotational force, also known as torque. So torque is what happens when you twist through your hips and shoulders during a strike. All power punches require torque, rotation, and weight shift. It's the reason why a clean hook or overhand right can feel like a bomb, not because it's wide, but because it was loaded with rotational force. So when you rotate explosively, you're adding velocity to the mix. Another fancy term that just means how fast your body spins around an axis. More torque, more velocity, more damage. And here's the kicker. This kind of power isn't just for naturally athletic fighters. You can build it. You just have to train it on purpose. You have to understand these mechanics and you got to learn how to drill it because you're not born a power puncher. You're born a baby. Your ability to punch harder is based on two things, coaching, what we're doing now, and culture, the way you're brought up. So how do you actually build knockout power? Here's 4 areas to target. You do it every single week. Punching power will increase. So first, your lower body strength, squats, lunges, deadlift, sled pushes. This is the GRF engine. Strong legs equal powerful punches. Any type of rotational core work, medicine ball throws, landmine rotations, or cable twists. Remember, the core isn't just for abs. It's the link between your hips and your hands. Next is mechanics-based shadow boxing. I'm not talking about just frailing in the mirror, but intentional shadow drills where you feel the force start from your foot and finish at your knuckles. Remember, bladed stance, 4 points of contact. If you haven't learned that yet, jump over to fighterscollege.com. We'll help you nail down the basics, and it'll definitely do what you need as far as teaching you how to do all of these things when you shadow box. So here's a major mistake fighters make. They spend too much time chasing speed, but ignore timing. Speed without structure just makes you sloppy. But speed through the right sequence from the ground up through the hips and the core is what delivers one-shot knockout power. Here's another nugget most people don't realize. Sometimes the best way to punch harder is to focus on your footwork. So if your feet are out of position, if your stance is off, if your balance is shaky, then all the power in the world won't matter. You'll be swinging off balance, missing the target, missing the moment. But if you're stable, loaded, connected to the floor and to your power source, that's where the magic happens. Let me leave you with this. The punch doesn't start with your hands. It starts with your feet. It flows through your hips, it fires through your core, and it finishes at your fist. If you're just training your arms, if you're ignoring your base, your mechanics, the coordination of the punch, you're not training for real power. That's what we focus on inside of our Fighters College training program. Real fight mechanics that produce real results. So we want you to be able to move on balance, punch hard, and be fast. So if you want drills, breakdowns, and progressions that build this kind of knockout ability, you like this sort of way of explaining it in an educated way of putting this together, let's start training like it matters, because power isn't given, it's built. You're not born a power puncher. We can create it through coaching. So if you want to learn more like this, check us out at fighterscollege.com. Until next time, guys, keep your hands up, keep your chin down. Remember to thank God every day that you have the strength to go one more round. We'll see you next time.